Chosen one, the fact that you are here right now is not an accident. This moment was not formed by chance, timing, or some invisible digital mechanism pushing content your way. Something far greater has been unfolding behind the curtain. Long before you arrived here, heaven was already moving, already aligning circumstances, already clearing paths to bring you to this exact point in time. You were drawn, not directed, called, not clicked. And if you feel a quiet weight on your spirit as you read these words, that is recognition, not imagination. Lately, life has felt different, hasn't it? Not necessarily louder or harder, but deeper. Something inside you has been stirring in ways you cannot fully explain. You feel restless even when nothing seems wrong. Sleep escapes you at odd hours. And when the world is silent, your mind feels strangely awake. Thoughts come that feel heavier than ordinary thoughts, as if they carry meaning beyond logic. This is not random. This is not stress. This is your spirit responding to a call it recognizes. God has been drawing you back to alignment, back to truth, back to purpose, back to the version of you that existed before disappointment, distraction, and delay tried to bury it. What you are sensing is not confusion, it is awakening. And awakening often feels uncomfortable before it feels clear. There is a shift happening, both within you and around you. The world is entering a season where what has been built on false foundations will begin to shake. Structures upheld by pride, illusion, and self-reliance will no longer feel stable. For many, this season will feel like collapse, like loss, like everything they trusted suddenly slipping through their fingers. But for you, this season carries a different meaning. What feels like shaking to others is positioning for you. You have been prepared in ways you did not recognize at the time. Every delay taught you patience. Every rejection trained your discernment. Every season where you felt overlooked strengthened your dependence on God rather than people. While others grew comfortable, you were being refined. While others chased distraction, you were being shaped in silence. Nothing you walked through was wasted. Nothing was random. God is doing something new in your life, even if you cannot fully see it yet. Paths are forming where there once were none. Strength is rising where you once felt empty. What looked like a wilderness season was actually the place where your spiritual senses were sharpened. The frustration you felt was not meant to break you. It was meant to loosen your grip on what no longer fit your calling. If this message is resonating deeply, it is because your spirit remembers something your mind forgot. There was a time when you knew you were called to more. Not more success, not more attention, but more purpose. That knowing never left you. It was simply buried beneath responsibility, routine, and survival. Now it is rising again. You may have noticed that things that once satisfied you no longer do. Entertainment feels empty. Old habits feel hollow. Conversations that stay on the surface drain you. You crave depth. You crave meaning. You crave truth. This is not you becoming distant or disconnected. This is your spirit rejecting what cannot nourish it anymore. You are being prepared to carry something heavier, something sacred, something real. You question your path more now. You ask yourself if what you are doing truly aligns with who you are. Those questions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of awakening. God disrupts comfort when comfort begins to interfere with calling. What once felt safe may now feel restrictive, because you were never meant to stay there. There are moments when you look at yourself and feel unqualified. You see your past. You remember your failures. You replay your mistakes. And you wonder how God could possibly choose someone like you. But God has never chosen based on perfection. He has always chosen based on willingness. He does not call those who have it all together. He calls those who are willing to trust Him enough to move forward anyway. Your weaknesses did not disqualify you. Your past did not remove you from the plan. In many ways, those very things prepared you. They taught you humility. They taught you compassion. They taught you dependence on God rather than confidence in yourself. You learned what it feels like to need grace, and that is why you will be able to extend it to others. Right now, God is tuning your spiritual hearing. Words land differently. Moments linger longer. You notice patterns you once ignored. This is discernment awakening. You are beginning to perceive beneath the surface. You are becoming aware of what others overlook. This is part of your preparation. You are not losing your mind. You are not falling apart. You are not broken. You are being activated. And once this process begins, there is no returning to sleep. You cannot unsee what is being revealed. You cannot unknow what your spirit now recognizes. The veil has been lifted, and with that comes responsibility. Faith is not the absence of fear. Faith is the willingness to say yes, even when fear is present. You are not required to have all the answers. You are not required to feel ready. Readiness comes after obedience, not before it. All God is asking from you right now is trust, not perfect trust. Just enough to take the next step. There is something placed inside you that this season requires. Something shaped by every trial you endured and every valley you survived. What you carry matters more than you realize. And even though you may not fully understand what comes next, understand this: you were not brought this far to stop here. What feels like an ending is actually a beginning. What feels like pressure is actually positioning. This moment is not random. You were meant to hear this. And the stirring you feel is the confirmation that your spirit has been waiting for. As this awakening continues, a clear separation will begin to reveal itself. Not because God desires division, but because truth always exposes what is real. The days ahead will make it obvious who built their life on something eternal and who built on what was temporary. Many will feel shaken, not because they are being punished, but because what they trusted can no longer support the weight of reality. Systems will fail. Promises made by the world will fall apart. What once looked secure will prove fragile. And in the middle of all this, you may wonder why you feel steady while others feel like they are unraveling. That steadiness is not accidental. It was cultivated. You were trained in hidden seasons. When others relied on applause, you learned to walk without it. When others leaned on certainty, you learned to trust without clarity. The pressure you faced was not meant to crush you. It was meant to anchor you. That is why, when the shaking increases, you will not collapse. You may feel the impact, but you will remain standing. A storm is approaching, not merely in the physical sense, but in the spiritual realm. A storm that reveals hearts, motives, and foundations. It will test convictions and expose compromise. For those who treated faith as optional, something to return to only in crisis, the pressure will feel unbearable. Fear will rise where trust is absent. Anxiety will multiply where hope was neglected. Confusion will dominate where truth was ignored. But you were not prepared for panic. You were prepared for purpose. Your faith is not a last resort. It is your foundation. While others search desperately for something solid to hold on to, you already know where your anchor is. You have learned that security does not come from stability around you, but from alignment within you. As this season unfolds, you will notice people returning who once walked away. Some drifted. Some ran. Some rejected everything they were taught. They chased success, pleasure, and validation, believing fulfillment could be found somewhere else. And for a time, it looked like they were winning. But emptiness has a way of catching up. Silence grows louder when distractions fade. Now many of them are hearing a call they ignored for years. Their return is not a coincidence. It is mercy in motion. And you are part of that mercy. You are not called to stand above them in judgment. You are called to stand beside them in compassion. You are not meant to remind them of who they were, but to reflect what grace can restore. The same patience that carried you through your own process must now flow through you toward others. You know what it feels like to be lost. You know what it feels like to be unsure. That understanding is not a weakness. It is a qualification. Your life has become a message whether you speak or not. Your peace in chaos communicates louder than arguments. Your consistency in uncertainty reveals a source others cannot see. When fear dominates conversations, your calm will stand out. When bitterness spreads, your mercy will confuse people, and they will ask where it comes from. That is when your obedience will speak. This moment is bigger than personal growth. It is about responsibility. Not responsibility driven by pressure, but responsibility born from purpose. You carry something meant to be shared. Light was never meant to be hidden. Truth was never meant to be hoarded. You are positioned where you are for a reason, surrounded by people whose lives intersect with yours by design. There will be resistance. There will be days when doubt whispers that you imagined this calling. Days when progress feels slow and opposition feels strong. That does not mean you are off track. Resistance often confirms direction. Nothing valuable is released without pressure. Nothing significant is entrusted without testing. You will be tempted to retreat into comfort, to lower your standards, to silence your convictions to avoid conflict. But you did not survive everything you survived just to play small now. You were not refined in fire to blend in when the moment demands courage. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to stand rooted. Guard what God placed inside you. Protect your focus. Be mindful of what you allow to influence your thoughts, your emotions, and your decisions. Not everything that demands your attention deserves it. Some distractions are subtle, appearing harmless while slowly draining your strength. Discernment is not suspicion, it is wisdom. Learn to recognize what pulls you away from alignment. What you carry is valuable, not because it makes you special, but because it serves a purpose beyond you. Power is flowing through you, not to elevate your ego, but to bring healing where there has been damage, clarity where there has been confusion, and hope where there has been despair. That power does not come from effort. It flows from connection. Staying close to the source matters now more than ever. You do not need to wait until you feel fearless. Courage grows through action, not avoidance. Faith is not confidence in yourself. It is confidence in God moving with you. Each step you take strengthens what is already forming within you. Each moment of obedience builds endurance you cannot see yet. You were designed for this season long before you understood it. The strength you need is already being supplied as you move forward. Wisdom is forming through humility. Authority is forming through faithfulness. What feels like small, unseen choices are shaping outcomes you will only recognize later. There will be moments when the weight of this calling feels heavy, when you wish the responsibility belonged to someone else. In those moments, remember that you were not chosen because you were perfect, but because you were willing. You said yes when it would have been easier to walk away. You stayed open when life tried to harden you. You kept believing when evidence was thin. Now the moment has arrived. The world is shifting whether people understand it or not. Instability is increasing. Uncertainty is spreading. And in the middle of it all, you are being asked to rise, not with arrogance, but with quiet authority. Not with noise, but with presence. Not with fear, but with trust. You are not alone in this. God goes before you. Strength surrounds you. Grace supports you. What began as a stirring is becoming movement. What felt like preparation is becoming action. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to walk forward, carrying what you were given, knowing that obedience now will echo far beyond what you can currently see. You were called for this moment, and everything that brought you here was preparation, not delay.